Hi everyone! Isang magandang araw sa bawat isa. That is a good day to each one in Filipino. I bring you greetings from the Philippines. I am Bryan Dimanlig-Sadorra and I welcome you to one of the virtual presentations for the WCE 2018 or the World Congress on Education 2018. And I will be presenting to you one of the researches made in FEU Cavite. The title of the research is Facebook Engagement as an Indicator of the English Proficiency of the Grade 12 ABM students of Tagaytay City Science National High School. This research was made together with one of my former students, Stella Nina A. Perenia. Unfortunately, she could not make it for the oral presentation. Let me start by saying that here in the Philippines, Filipinos or the people are very engrossed with the use of social networking sites through their gadgets. Whenever they are probably in malls, in public places, even inside the classroom or inside the school, they always have with them their gadgets and they visit always social networking sites. In particular, Filipinos are very much engrossed with the use of your Facebook, or as we call it, FB. It could be observed that FB has gotten a big chunk or a big bulk of the time and the totality of every Filipino. Thus, this research on Facebook engagement correlating with the English proficiency. In particular, we shall be answering the question, does FB or Facebook affect the English proficiency of the students? But before we answer this research question, allow me to venture you into some of the terms and the context of this study. We are using the term Facebook engagement to mean that this may include posting comments, probably sharing posts, or probably liking through the social networking site, which is your FB or Facebook. The second term that I want us to understand is the term taglish. This is actually a coined word from two words. The first word is Tagalog, that's your tag. Tagalog is the local dialect of Filipinos, particularly in the central area, that's Manila. And lish came from the word English, and that's a certain language. So the coined term Taglish. In other words, it's very possible that Filipinos would use Tagalog and English intertwined. So the term Taglish. The context of our study is that we have here grade 12 ABM students. Grade 12 is actually the last level of the basic education of the senior high school. Or this is actually the last level of preliminary to the college or the tertiary level. And we have here the term ABM, which stands for Accountancy Business Management. Here in the Philippines, grades 11 and 12 are required to have or to enter a major, so to speak, or a strand. Thus, the students involved in this study are students who chose to be an ABM or Accountancy and Business Management students. These students are from Tagaytay City, or Tagaytay is one of the key cities here in the Philippines. So these are the terms and the context of our study. So again, the question, does FB affect the English proficiency of the students? Or for us to have an illustration on this, we have this. The first box is on the duration of FB or Facebook engagement of the students, correlating this with the speaking skills and the writing skills or the English proficiency of our students. In particular, we shall be answering 5 minor problems, or we call it the statement of the problem. Question number 1, we have what percentage of the students subscribe to social media? 2, which social media do most respondents subscribe to? Number 3, how many times per hour do the respondents spend in engaging to their most subscribed media? 4, what is the medium of communication used by the respondents when engaging in social media to their most subscribed media? And number 5, what is the average grade of the respondents as shown in their English-based subject? We conducted the research, conducted a survey, and we came up with these results. In answer to question number 1, the percentage of the respondents subscribe to social media, 8 out of 70 students subscribe 1 to 5 times, 19 out of 70 students subscribe 5 to 10 times, 20 out of 70 students subscribe 10 to 30 times, 23 out of 70 students subscribe more than 30 times. Let us take note that we have here a total of 70 students as respondents. In answer to question number 2, which social media do most respondents subscribe to? And if you take note, the answers of our respondents, we have 70 students, or everyone, all our respondents would subscribe to FB or Facebook. 44 out of 70% subscribe to Twitter. 40 out of 70 students would subscribe to Instagram. 21 out of 70 students would subscribe to Snapchat. 5 out of 70 on Tumblr. And 8 out of 70 students on YouTube. For question number 3, on how many times per hour do the respondents spend in engaging their most subscribed media? 21 out of 70 students said they do not subscribe. 27 out of 70 students would visit 1 to 3 times per hour. And if you notice, based from our data, this is of the highest ranking. 13 out of 70 students would visit 4 to 6 times per hour. 7 out of 70 students would visit 7 to 12 times per hour. And 2 out of 70 students would visit 13 or more times. Next, on the question, what is the medium of communication used by the respondents when engaging in social media to their most subscribed media, which is Facebook? Our students, or 10 out of 70 respondents, answered that they use the English medium of communication, while 40, or majority of our students or respondents, 40 out of 70 respondents would use Taglish as the medium of communication, and 20 out of 70 respondents answered Filipino, or the local language. On the 5th question, what is the average grade of the respondents as shown in their English-based subject? Before I discuss this, let me allow you to take note that here in the Philippines, the passing percentage for students is that each student needs to get at least 75% to pass a certain subject. So if you get 74 or lower, that means you failed the subject and you need to repeat it. If you get 75 or higher, that means you passed the subject. So the data would tell us that the average grade of the respondents as shown in their English-based subject is that none of them got 75 to 80%. 15 out of 70 students got 81 to 85%. 28 out of 70 students got 86 to 90. 18 out of 70 students got 91 to 95. 9 out of 70 respondents or students got 96 to 100. And out of the 70, all of them actually passed the English-based subject. Now, since we are talking about correlation or the effect of Facebook usage with their oral and their written proficiency, particularly in English, we made use of the Pearson R as the statistical treatment. To correlate between FB usage in terms of hours and English oral and written grades of the respondents, we came up, after applying Pearson R, we came up with these results. We have the variables on oral grades and written grades. On the other tail, we have the Facebook usage. So on the oral grades, we have the p-value of negative 0.252. That's correlation is significant at 0.05 level, two-tailed, or the correlation coefficient of 0.036. On the other hand, on written grades, we have the p-value of negative 0.250. That's correlation is significant at 0.01 level, two-tailed, and the correlation coefficient of 0.37. Now, what do these figures imply? From these figures, we could actually conclude that FB engagement has moderate negative significant relationship to oral and written English proficiency. In other words, the students' usage or engagement to Facebook or FB would moderately and negatively affect the English proficiency of our students, particularly in oral and in written. So that's the conclusion that we made from our research. However, despite the conclusion that we have for our research, we are suggesting that further research be made, particularly on correlation of other social networking sites with the English proficiency. Because we need to take note that while it may be true that majority or all of our students would engage in Facebook, let it be noted that they still engage themselves with other social networking sites like Tumblr, Snapchat, Instagram, or other sites, so to speak. So we are suggesting that a correlation of other social networking sites be made with the English proficiency. Also, correlation with other grade levels, or probably a research on correlation with the reading and listening, or generally we call it the receptive skills, because this research which I just presented to you, we just concentrate on oral and written skills. So a correlation of FB usage with reading and listening skills would be good, and the correlation of FB and academic performances in general with the participation of other academic grade levels. I hope you gained something from my presentation for today. Should there be questions or inquiries or probably comments that you want to raise, please feel free to reach me through my email. That's bryanle21@yahoo.com or solideoeventsmanagement@gmail.com. I wish you all the best. I hope you're enjoying your stay there in Dublin, Ireland. Happy teaching, everyone. Bye-bye.